This is First Up with Kane Cornes. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Sarah, Olle and Kane. I can tell from the hat, it says it all. You, like me, are still coming down from that final frenetic term at the MCG. What a comeback win from Justin Longmuir's side. They were 22 points in arrears in that final quarter, and in the end, 1 point victors.
What about that man? What about Vossi kicking 6? They told him earlier on in the week, you've got Darcy Moore. He did Sicily last week. They identified that. Not only did he nullify him, he kicked 6. Hayden Young coming back into the side is important, but just you can see there, it was pretty dour sort of game, high pressure, change of angles, change of ball movement, and a couple of clutch finishes. That from Luke Jackson had a pretty solid game with Sean Darcy. Elliott doesn't miss those, but he did miss those, and Collingwood had their opportunities. But in the end, this is the final stage. As you can see that Moore had gone forward, gives away that. He'd gone with Tracy, who had gone back behind the ball. And what a win this is. Their last 2 performances, huge. They're having an extended run of really good form. And from here, with West Coast and Carlton next 2 weeks, it's hard to see them missing.
I mean, in the context of their season, it couldn't be a bigger win, beating the ladder leaders Collingwood and beating them, Kane, at the MCG. Let's hear from the coach, JL, post-match.
Players are confident. We've won 8 out of 9. So players are confident. They're really. I think it's just evidence to suggest that when we stick at it, then there's some core things that are real indicators for us, and not so much statistical. It's more like our communication and when role play and those sorts of things. And when we get that right, we perform well, and we've done that against the better teams.
And they got it right today, indeed. They've now won 8 of their last 9 matches. And such an important win when you look at the buffer they've now got on the Western Bulldogs. They're 2 games clear, and this is their run home, Kane. As you said, next week they meet West Coast, and that round 24 match against the Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium, I'm already salivating for that one.
That's going to be huge, as is the Brisbane game. That's at home, so that's winnable as well. You think Port Adelaide have put the queue in the rack almost already, so by the time that game comes around. So there's the opportunity to get to 15 and really drive themselves up the ladder. Impressive, like minus 23 in entries today, but their pressure was elite. Collingwood kicked the footy at just 52%, so their execution was off. Their connection, the Pies, was off. High pressure game, finals-like game. So to come from Perth to the MCG in front of 65,000, I think it was, and win in that type of game, the last 2 weeks have felt really like finals. And for Freo to hold up like that is a really good sign. And just a shout out to my man who I've been hard on, that's Sean Darcy with the knee strapping. Thought he was enormous. So, yep, the 2 rucks has not worked. It absolutely worked today. I want to put my hand up and say that. I want to pay credit where credit is due. 15, he had 7 score involvements, kicked a big goal, as did Luke Jackson. Still lost the clearance and stoppages, but I just thought he's starting to move like they paid him to move and expected him to, and that was a bit of a weapon for them today. So, well done to the 2 rucks from Freo.
And I think, Kane, that perhaps purple is your colour, so keep that cap
Does it
on.
suit
But
me?
now, yeah, I think so. I don't mind it. Maybe just
Okay.
bend that cap a little bit more. I can tell you haven't worn it before.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.